instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past. Whatever they are, whatever you call them, ghosts, spirits, shades, specters, apparitions, there is not a corner of the world they do not inhabit.
I'm coming through.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nature's Podcast. We talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
If you can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And tonight, we are going to be discussing Halloween, the rise, the fall, and the re-rise. Like the phoenix. Like a big jack-o'-lantern pumpkin phoenix.
And we're talking about
rising.
the holiday, not the movies.
Yeah, no. That has not come back up. That's still down
No,
there.
they beat that back into the dust. It's done.
Yeah. It's not good. The new ones weren't good. The other new ones weren't good. The first Rob Zombie was kind of vibey, but still not good.
It missed the point entirely.
Sure. They just made a super huge guy that was not the shape of a man. It was just a really big, angry man.
Yeah, who got beat up by Flat Top from Dick Tracy.
Yeah. Sitting at the table, talking about his fucking wife's daughter's. It was gross.
Yeah, it was that
Like,
Rob
what?
Zombie specific gross. Yeah.
Right. Rob Zombie's always like inching
Was
on
his
the
wife in
edge.
that movie?
You know what? We'll have to check.
I don't have to check.
Yeah, I might have to go to IMDb. Oh, wait. Yeah. Everything the guy does, there she is.
Exactly.
He would have played
First-
everyone on the Flyers if he made that Broad Street Bullies movie. It's just,
Yeah. I remember when they were talking about that.
yeah, it's a fart noise.
Before we go any further, if I cough or if you hear me just bleh, and if I just can't put sentences together, I have COVID right now, so having
Yeah,
a great
Jay
time.
keeps getting COVID, man.
You mean the last time I
Guy's
got
a
it was
COVID
2021.
It's a COVID magnet over here.
You know Ken's a magnet of?
Say it. Good. You want to push the envelope? Fuck it.
Nope. Everybody already knows. We
Okay.
have such history. I don't even have to say it.
You're right.
Mikey
I don't-
knows.
I don't
What's up, Mikey? Happy Halloween, buddy.
Happy Halloween, Mikey. Yeah, I am a vampire slayer.
That's it.
Vampire slayer, whatever. Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. But,
You will.
yeah, I know. That's what I hear on this podcast all the time, apparently. Yeah, don't have COVID, just life breaking it, sticking it in and breaking it off over here. That's what's going on over here. But keeping the head down, trucking forward with the Halloween spirit as best I can.
Mm-hmm.
And before we start discussing the rise and fall and re-rise of Halloween, I will be sending over to Jay for tonight's jump scare.
Thanks, Ken. So not exactly paranormal, but very fucking creepy and very wow. This is October. So this actually happened as of recording. This was yesterday afternoon, and I had to, even though I have COVID, I had to. My wife was at the doctor's, so I had to walk and get my daughter from school. Long story short, she saw me. I was able to cross the street, avoided people, the whole thing. So as we're walking back, along the road that we walk on, there's a, it's an apartment. It's an apartment, but it doesn't look like an apartment, and it's actually it's an old folks home.
Okay.
Right? So as I'm going there, there's already an ambulance in front. Just noticed it.
Yeah.
So we're coming back, and I noticed that as we're coming back, because we're on the same side of the sidewalk, I'm noticing that they're pulling a gurney out. But it's not a body bag. It's a gurney, and there's clearly an older person on it. So I slow up because I have Nora. She's my daughter's 10 years old, and she has a wild imagination to begin with. So I was like, all right, so if this is some kind of, let's let them get the thing into the thing. But they're not. They're like going super slow. And I'm all right, all right,
Giving that person the chance to like shout Halloween predictions at people as they pass by. Yeah.
Possibly. So we walk up closer, and first thing she's on my right side. The gurney is down on the street. They're putting this now I could tell that it's an older woman into the back of this ambulance. And I take a closer look, and I notice the telltale waxy yellow color of the person. This person is not alive, and they are not in a body bag.
Oh.
Yeah. And as dude, it was wild. That's why I told you. So they're putting her into the back of the thing, and as they do it, it rocks like the body a little bit, and the head goes like this, and her eye sort of like opens, and it's this like gray cataract eye, and then her mouth opens, and like you could see her teeth, like broken teeth. And I just grabbed Nora. I was like, okay, come on. And right away, Nora's like, was she dead? I was like, no. I was like, she'd be in a body bag if she was dead.
Yeah.
So she's just asking questions, 100 questions immediately. Yeah. And we're less than 5 minutes from the house. So we're just walking.
Like Nora do.
Like Nora does. She's a very inquisitive 10-year-old, like unbelievably so. So, I get back to the house and I'm like, holy shit. So Christina comes home within like the next 10 minutes. I was like, and I'm like, all right, Nora, go do your homework, whatever. I was like, you were not going to believe what the fuck I just saw. I was like, I think I just saw illegal activity. She's like, what do you mean? And I tell her, I'm like, this person was dead. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, they were that yellow waxy look.
Yeah.
When someone's dead. I was like, she wasn't moving, and then she moved, and the eye kind of opened, and it was fucked. And she was like, do you think you should call somebody? I'm like, who do I call?
Yeah. The Ghostbusters now?
She was like, what? Are they and then she was like thinking about it. She was like, started to ask questions like, wait, well, why wasn't she in a body bag? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the law, wouldn't you think? Like if you're moving a dead body from it. This woman was not alive.
Yeah.
And
what I can say, dealing with this, being in security and surveillance for so many years and seeing so many instances like this.
Yeah.
It could have been they started CPR.
Yeah.
And they got it on the gurney and died on the way, and then realized on the way out they're like, all right, well,
there was no apparatus on her, there was no breathing mask, there was no nothing. Her arms were tied like this, and just the head was just now maybe she was and then I was like, that doesn't even make any more sense. I was like, she was dead. I was like, because if she was seconds from death, that you think someone would be working on her, but they were moving very slow, we're here to pick up a dead body. And you could tell the manager of the place was there because she was standing at the door just looking
another one.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and I was just
Susan, I'm gonna miss her.
That kind of thing going on.
Yeah. And
she had her phone, and these guys were just very and I was just like, I was like, what in the fuck? So, but the thing that got me, and because I was having wacko that night, last night too, because COVID, the fever and the fever dreams I was having. Oh, it was great last night. The 3 hours that I actually slept. So that's what happened yesterday, and it was just messing with me because I was, one of the recent episodes when we were discussing, that weird thing I thought I saw in the cemetery the one time. This was another looking death in the face again. I was like, this is kind of cool, but at the same time, these guys are fucked up for doing this the wrong fucking way. Yeah. And my kid just stared a dead woman in the face too. Yeah. She doesn't know it, and I had to be like, no, I was like, where they're taking her? I was like, she's probably very close to dying, so they're taking her to the hospital where they're gonna help her. But this, no.
Well, they probably had to move fast because I heard about what's going on with the Drexel Hill Ghoul out there. They might not have had time, dude. You have to think.
We're gonna hear more about that. You should have heard more about it sooner, but plans go.
I don't know. Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
I just know there's a problem.
There was going to be. I heard some stuff. I don't know.
I just know there's a problem out there. That's all I know. I've been reading the comments. That's all I know. That's all I'm saying.
Well, fresh graves. You don't want any fresh graves become empty graves out here. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and apparent, fresh body. They were like, we don't have time, because no one's gonna bend this thing off.
Right. They
But
were
then them
very
taking their
slow,
time,
though.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But no, in all seriousness, it was very, very, very like macabre. I like sat there. I was like, wow, that's really fucked up. And then I started thinking about the lady. I'm like, no respect for this woman. Like
Yeah.
it bummed me the fuck out. And then I was just like, who does this?
There might have been a note or something that was like, if
It just said,
you,
fuck me up, fam.
or like, yeah, or like, if you find me dead,
Yeah.
carry me out open. You know, I want to
I don't even
scare
think
the
it's,
neighbors. I don't.
well, I think there's certain procedures that are like, Department of like health kind of things or whatever you would call it.
One would
I don't
think,
know, man.
But a lot of those guys, a lot of those ambulance people or and coroners are like independent contractors, so they might just be
Yeah.
like, "Fuck it."
Maybe. I mean, it was just very, I don't
They
know.
might
Maybe
be
I'm
like,
just,
check it out.
yeah. I mean, I've seen people removed from houses, like,
Yeah.
family members and whatnot, like from houses, like they're put, but maybe when she was like, had no living, descendants or whatever, they were just like, just take her out.
It could have been Rob Zombie's coroner company. You don't know.
I really don't
Because
know.
that's
But
how
it
they
was,
would do it.
it's true. But it was very,
Very
it was a
Dracula.
yeah, it was just a very like, wow, this is an October. It was a sunny, beautiful October day, chilly, and like this just happened. And I was like, that was fucking weird.
Yeah, well, we know a couple people in the business. We'll have to reach out to them. See
Sure.
what they say.
Yep.
I will.
Or if anyone listening knows if there's laws to that. I mean, we're in Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's like those laws are like national, but that struck me as absolutely not correct. I don't know why.
Someone types in, they're like, "Yeah, well, look, I've been doing this for years in Pennsylvania,
Yep.
and one of the laws is that you have the discretion to fucking horrify all the kids and the children out there. So if you choose to do that, you can write that off on your taxes."
So if
Like,
you
all
choose
right.
the horrify clause, if that's
Yeah.
a thing, I'm choosing that too.
You know,
Perfect.
if you got the mummy, you could do the marionette option, where
Yeah.
they like they bring you out, and
Wow.
have you walk on to the back.
Fucking Weekend at Bernie's style.
Right, but they actually do the strings. It's a weird fucking week. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's all
But I got a little one to piggyback off this. So, along with good news, always comes bad, it seems, and emotions have been high over here at James Manor. And one thing that me and Britt always do, we never close our bathroom door. Like we close it, when we're showering, doing our dirt or business, but we just leave it open. One, because especially if you shower, it builds up heat and it traps it in there. I mean, one of these smaller bathrooms, it just becomes like a hot box. So if you want to go in there and pee, you're just like But we'd both come out after getting some news that happened recently, and emotions were high and things were kind of calming down. And I had just come out of the shower. Always leave it open. Did leave it open, and we're right by it. It's right behind me right now, and we're just sitting here talking about what's the next move, blah blah blah. And I get up to go outside to have a smoke, and the door's closed. And there's the window in there is closed, so it's not an airflow thing that would close it. Like, huh? Did you close it? Nope, haven't been up. And I'm like, yeah, you haven't. And then again, yesterday, same thing. High emotions and door open. Doors closed again. And if you are a listener, you know about that hallway. Things right there. And it seems like it's just been like, let's leave this door closed. Let's do this. And you don't hear it. We don't hear it. We'll have like a movie on or whatever. So it's like almost like the sneakiest ghost ever, or whatever's doing it is like, it's just like closed. It's been open. Nope, closed. Like no noise, no slam, no nothing.
Do you think it's a ghost and he's going in there and taking a spooky poopy
Could be.
or a creepy peepee? I'm sorry.
Well, here's the deal. I do both those all the time. So
Yeah, but this is like ghost style.
These
Hey man,
shoes?
I'm just
No, I don't know.
spitballing. We don't know.
no, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Just saying that's another thing that's been happening. Go off the trail of your story, your actual corporeal visage of death,
Yeah, that was fun.
and mine just being like, close this door on you. You want to be scared? Close the door on you.
Yeah. No.
That's what I did.
Yep. No. It's the season, man. Right?
Yeah,
It's October.
right.
The veil's getting thin. And yeah, you have your occurrences there. You know, I had my thing yesterday, and I have my wacko wife telling me, she's like, oh, another image of death. You saw another image of death. I'm like, just sit down.
You just throw candy pumpkins in her face.
Exactly.
That's what we should start doing. We should
What's
just
that?
have bags in our jackets of candy pumpkins and candy corn.
Yeah.
And anytime someone's got some fucking all vibey shit, even if you're doing it yourself,
Yep.
you just splash yourself in the face with the candy corn or the person. And you just look at them and they go, and then you just go. And you point at them and give them the look.
Yeah, we with me and Sam Heimer, we have our Halloween club, whatever you want to call it, our yearly art thing. And one of the unrealized ideas, which you'll probably see why when I explain it, was, what if, to be a member, you have to survive a pumpkining, we'll call it that. Halloween day, anyone, they open their door, if they're a member, someone might be at your front door, straight up guy in like headless horseman costume on a thing, and he hits you with a fucking jack-o'-lantern. You have to take that jack-o'-lantern. If you survive, you can stay in. You can see why that would get a little weird, right? Why that wouldn't work, logistically speaking.
Yeah, even if you got one of the mini ones or like a white pumpkin, you know,
Those would be even worse because they don't fucking crack.
yeah, they're like baseballs.
Yeah. Those little
no.
sugar pumpkins are death.
Yeah. Holy shit, this fat fucking squirrel I've talked about on here before.
Yeah.
With these cute, nice little pumpkins with our little scarecrows and our nice little, been just munching. I see him. I went out there today. I saw him. Ooh, I'm gonna kill this fucker.
Funny you mention it. Everybody is having problems this year with the squirrels eating their pumpkins. Someone said it has something to do with the drought, probably, because there's no like naturally occurring like puddles of water, so they're very thirsty.
Also,
outside
rats too. Same.
Sure.
The outside rats are going nuts too.
Yeah, because there is no moisture. I mean, up here where we're at, obviously around Florida, you guys got plenty of water. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, like I bought a nice amount of pumpkins, some really nice ones. I'm like, dude, these are gonna make amazing jack-o'-lanterns. It looks like a chest burster came out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking ruined all of them. So I'm gonna have to buy new pumpkins like the day before Halloween.
Yeah, you are. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah.
Ugh, fucking squirrels. Anyway.
Seriously, they ruin everything.
That was news to a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Here's some more news. We're going to go
Okay.
over to Jay for tonight's Haunted Headline.
Haunted headline.
Thanks, Ken. This is a short one, but we saw this the other day, and I was like, dude, this is the kind of news that we report on other dangerous podcasts.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm pronouncing this right. In Airdrie, what's up in British Columbia, I think? No, Alberta, Canada. Excuse me, folks. You're not listening. There was this coyote attack, a brazen daylight coyote attack of a 6-year-old at this festival that was going on. He's fine.
Was it the Coyote Festival?
I don't know. It's Canada, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
right.
animals everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
They all ride moose up there, I think.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's real.
And they only drink maple syrup. There's no water. There's nothing else.
No.
But after that, he's fine. Kid's fine. No problem. It was some minor wounds. But the funny part about it is that the child was disappointed. He told his mom that he didn't turn into a werewolf after the attack.
Yeah, and you know what? I felt for the kid.
Now listen, when you're that age, kid was 9 years old. When you're that age, werewolves are serious shit.
Yeah.
And if you think that you might have, an opportunity to fucking transform into a werewolf, there's nothing else.
That's like if you were supposed to go to Disney World, like most kids, and they're like, I gotta push it back another year.
Yeah,
that's what that is. And like I said, I feel for the fucking kid because like if you got bit, these kids are getting the renaissance of comics, but not the comics, the movies, and they're like, I should spider powers, like I should. Like I should have this, or they are watching Monster High or whatever the fucking kids. Well, I don't know what the kids are watching, but they watch. You see them, you get bit, and you're like,
they're watching Skibbity Toilet. That's what the fuck these kids watch.
Sure, once again,
shit.
Still don't even know what that is because I don't have teens in my life.
Yeah,
I don't know, but what
brain
I do
rot.
know, brain rot. Sure, you said that too, and I'm still like, yeah, cool, man, cool. I feel for this kid because if I got bit by some kind of brazen daylight attack,
almost as if it was more intelligent than normal.
Mm-hmm. Right. It was like, I'm going to go hunting at this festival.
Yeah.
Daylight.
Yeah.
Take him out. Maybe
Dude,
the heart. I don't know.
Just the off chance that you might gain wolf powers.
Even
you know
hearing you
saying?
say that, it's like I got like that, like the little flush of tingles. Like,
yeah, like
powers?
dude, rewind to 9 years old. Scholastic book era.
I'm there.
The book fair.
I'm there.
Some kind of amazing lunchbox.
Struble Elementary. I'm there.
There you go, buddy. And you're walking the halls, and you're like, I got fucking wolf powers now.
Yeah.
You know what you do. First of all, you take a few pages from the Teen Wolf book. That's for sure.
Right.
Basketball team, kill it.
Yeah. I was going to say, is that what we're
sports.
doing? We're doing all the sports or just basketball? I don't know.
No, all of them. You do all of them.
I thought it was weird they went basketball. You know what I mean?
It was his sport, so I kind of get it. But and I think it was around the same. Wasn't that around the same time that movie? Like, what was it? Hoosiers came out. So I think there was some kind of like whatever. But could you imagine him doing like backflips and like fucking like crazy like Mortal Kombat moves on the football field?
Yeah, yeah. Or like his super
throwing the ball through somebody.
Yeah, or like tackling. And he just gets started. He like starts trying to maul him. But the cage, the helmet cage is like keeping him away.
Yeah.
That's some good scenery they lost. Or using his like scent abilities to like smell the fear in the pitcher and just crush home
Can you
runs.
imagine a wolf boy fucking stealing bases like nobody's business?
On all fours.
Crack it, dude. Moonshots mean a new fucking thing with when it's a fucking werewolf, don't it?
Yeah. Yeah. They missed the mark on that one.
They really did. You know what? I think we should make new wolf children movies, and we'll have one be a baseball player, and just do them all.
It'll be like Air Bud, but like a werewolf kid.
Kind of, but it'll be a lot more fun, and there'll be some more what the kids call jargon in there to make it funny. I don't know if the kids call it jargon. I don't know.
No, the kids don't. I think it's only us who look, we speak in jargon a lot of times.
Right.
It's like us, doctors, lawyers, and that's it.
Right, us, doctors, and lawyers.
And horror carnies. Horror carnies. They do, too.
Right.
And to explain to what everyone is, it's my new terminology for haunters, or people that work in haunted houses. Yeah. When you think about it, they are the same ilk, the same type of people.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they gave me fucking COVID, and my two cousins, and our friend Jenny. Shout out to Jenny.
Oh, Jenny. I watched her, the movie she worked on.
Yeah. It's on Hulu. It's cute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I liked the practical effects.
Yeah. My brain is shot. I can't even remember the name of it. It's Mr. Something.
Mr. Crockett, I think it is.
Is that what it is? Shit.
Something like that. Jenny. The song's like a friend like me, a friend like you.
It's on Hulu, right?
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Go check it out. It was a good time.
Yeah, I watched it. But COVID brain right now. I remember half of it.
Brain. All right, one last thing before we get into the rise and fall of Halloween.
We're done with the Wolf Boy stuff? Fuck, I thought we were going to cover some more sports.
We could, but I know you said you didn't like it and it was pure trash. I really liked the remake of Salem's Lot.
And then that's how we know that you are going downhill, sir.
All right.
First of all, you don't take a story that large and put it into a fucking 90-minute movie. It doesn't work. None of the beats work because there's no build-up, because it should have been a series. Because of that, none of the hits fucking landed. None of them. The main actor was like, all right.
Whoa. Let's
all
not
right.
talk about Bill Pullman's son that way. Whoa.
I have fuck Bill Pullman's son. I don't know who he is.
I love Bill Pullman. And
Okay. Bill Pullman's fine. This kid.
I didn't even know it was his kid until someone pointed out.
Neither did I. I had no idea until you just said it.
I had to do that because
didn't add or detract from his performance. He's fine.
he was aces with the stakes.
Kinda. But I found a lot of the CGI to be shit. I found the only thing I kind of thought was cool was the lit crucifixes. Those were was kind of a cool effect.
That was really cool. Come on.
It was okay, but the fact that the pacing was just so bad, it just ruined any kind of impact any of the stuff had. And I think that, and I got to be honest, the Kurt Barlow vampire kind of looked like shit. Very rushed.
Yeah, it seemed more like what were they called on Buffy? Mikey, welcome back to the show. It was Buffy the Whisper episode or whatever it was with like all those it was like their biggest episode that like became
I've
like
never
it was
watched a
actually
single
scary.
episode.
Neither did
So I don't know.
I know it from horror shows and podcasts and YouTube channels, and it looked very
All right, we'll
much
go
like
with
that. I get what you're saying. I still enjoyed it.
Hey, you can enjoy it, but I'm telling you, if that movie was turned into like, a Netflix 10 episode thing, it would have been a whole lot better. There's no explanation how like they find, like, I know it because that's one of the books that I read. That's a great book, and even the miniseries from like 77 or 78, the story is drawn out. You see the investigation, how they find out who Kurt Barlow even is. The kid comes out with it out of nowhere. I think the vampire is Kurt Barlow. I'm like, how the fuck does this kid know anything? It's just, sorry, man.
It's okay.
Here's my question. Were you watching it while playing a video game, or were you watching it just watching it?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, exactly. So you were really watching it.
I was
Half watching it.
I was watching it.
I rest my case. It's like whatever. If they actually had it as a series, that actually would have been pretty great. I have to, or if they split it into two, like it needed more time. That story needed to like open up and breathe a little bit more.
Okay.
They just.
Hey, I got you, man.
Yep.
Here's a hint. Didn't read the story.
You don't have to have read the story. It's too smashed in there. It's too truncated. It needed more time to breathe, and the pacing, the pacing.
Sure. Of all the shit that's been out there, I enjoyed it more than all of that. So at this point, I have to go off of just that. I enjoyed it, and there it is.
Okay. Enjoy it.
I
Enjoy it
did.
in hell,
I will. I'll continue to. I'll enjoy it right now.
Okay.
Currently
While playing what game?
I was playing UFC.
Yes, you were. I was creeping on what you were playing. I was like, he's playing UFC.
Well, they just finally released a boxing game. I just I'll have to wait for my birthday to get it. If I'm a good boy.
Oh, you know what I've been playing? God damn, the fucking Silent Hill 2 remake. Holy shit! If you are a fan of Silent Hill, you're probably playing it already, so I don't have to convince you. If you've never played any of them, go pick this game up. It's gorgeous, and if you have played the original, this is like the most. Not even just that it's faithful. It's the way you do a remake. Like, everyone should take notes from this game.
Not Salem's Lot.
What's that?
Salem's Lot shouldn't take notes, or should have taken notes from this remake.
Salem's Lot needed some help.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, gang. Get out there and get the new Silent Hill remake.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Silent Hill 2. It's so good.
All right. So on to the rise of Halloween.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, you go back, you see all the pictures from the 20s, like sacks on faces, crazy looking, scary kids. And you could kind of tell that there was a select few that were really getting into it in the Americas, at that point. I'm not going back to, Ireland or the motherland or anything like that. We're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, and the only reason why any of that stuff is here is because of the influx of Irish immigrants in the 18th century. So,
yes.
19th century. So it's very much informed by all that. But I think you can definitely see, and a lot of there's so many documentaries, books, podcasts that have talked about the history of Halloween. So we're not going to go like
Yeah,
delve
I
into
think
that.
we've
But
already talked about it. So
no, exactly. Yeah. So it's we're talking about what
the modern era.
yeah the what is American Halloween, and
Yeah.
it is what it is, because what has been despite its Irish roots, what everyone enjoys across the globe is what happened when it came here, and the Americanization of Halloween, the jack-o'-lantern, the witch imagery, the trick-or-treating, the prevalence of costumes, the decorating, the parties, that all came to fruition here. And other countries have adopted that after, like apparently it wasn't big in Australia until it became big here, and then it moved over there. Japan is into Halloween. There's so many other countries that get into Halloween that just it came through here. And I think that it's great to absolutely, you have to talk about the roots whenever you're talking about it, but what we have now, the Halloween that we have now is definitely it's an American thing for sure.
Yeah, we bombed Halloween into Japan.
Wow. Once or twice?
Oh, it was twice.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe a third time, we just like dropped a giant jack-o'-lantern with jack-o'-lanterns inside of it.
Yeah, and also Colonel Sanders, because they love him for some reason.
Christmas, it's the weirdest thing. Yeah,
they get a bucket
KFC
of chicken
Christmas,
every Christmas. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, cool. Good for you guys.
Yeah, hey, they're just doing what they want to do.
Yeah,
I get it.
Getting new crazy traditions going. But yeah, no. So I always saw that like Halloween like became like super big,
right,
in the late 80s, early 90s. That's when I felt like was the game changer, because like you had it, but like it seemed kind of tame. But then when the 80s came, like with not just the rise in movies and TV, which obviously will organically help grow anything, with just like specials and anything that it becomes commercialized. But I just feel like with the progression in technology, with special effects, stuff like that, I think in that age is really when like you'd see it more in movies, you see it more on TV shows, you get all the different specials. And that's when I think everyone was kind of like overdoing it. I think that's when like hay rides became hay rides the way as we know them now. Haunted houses started really like, all right, let's get bigger, let's commercialize this in a way of let's not say commercialize, let's put on these shows to bring some money to our farm, you know what I mean, or this area. And the advent of movies like Candyman, that was like in the projects people were taking out, different factory buildings and any place that they can get their hands on, to started converting them. And then all these shut down asylums and things like that, they were like, all right, let's rent it, turn it into this thing, because it was this boom. You started getting more music about it that was like more popular music, Michael Jackson, Thriller, stuff like that, really started pushing it. Even some of our classics right now, Thriller, Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me, more of that same thing, the Crip Jam, like all fast, it started kind of bumping around, late 80s, early 90s. And it just, I think it kind of blew up in a way that it never was popular before.
I would agree with that. And I would probably, add to that Halloween, in my opinion, is the only, what I would refer to as living holiday. It evolves constantly. You think about traditional religious holidays, they are what they are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Christmas has obviously come, and that's a whole other thing and whatever. But you think about traditional religious holidays, they are what they are. Easter is Easter. Hanukkah is Hanukkah. And the whole gamut of religious holidays out there, they are what they are. They have the thing that you do, and it is what it is. There's nobody out there like, hey, did you see the new, whatever. It's just not the same thing. I mean, they try sometimes. You obviously see the decorations in stores, but Halloween constantly evolves. And Halloween is a holiday that constantly mirrors what's going on in the culture. Right. And it takes a little, but it constantly evolves. So, like you were saying, you have like the whole era of before slasher movies, you had this more folksy kind of holiday, right? It was, parties and bobbing for apples and, fortune telling and all this kind of stuff. And it was fun, and it was more closely related to the Irish influence of things they brought over and all these, like I said, folksy kind of traditions. And then with the advent of and the kind of like I don't know, development, we'll call it,
I was
of
about to say,
trick-or-treating.
yeah, development. Well, developments, making those neighborhoods and those houses, and the development of developments and communities that weren't just like, oh, there's that house down the street, or like, I live fucking, 2,000 feet from my neighbors. The building, like the real estate boom, kind of making all these neighborhoods just go up and pop up in like areas that were just wide open.
Sure,
Kind of built that sense of community. I'm sorry if I interrupted.
No, it's fine. I mean, obviously, the boom in population in the United States surely bolstered the celebration of the holiday. But like like we say, and I think we probably covered this in the episode when we talked about the history. But trick or treating kind of came out of trying to tame the whole. There was kind of like a violent aspect of Halloween for a while, where it was all about destruction. Kids would go out either the night before, which by me was called Mischief Night, or people also called it Devil's Night. What they call it around by you?
We were Mischief Night.
Mischief Night. Yeah.
When I started hearing Devil's Night, I'm like, shut up.
You know what? I didn't hear Devil's Night until after The Crow came out, because they called it Devil's Night in that movie. I think people wanted to be, feel cool.
You know what? I didn't even realize they called it that in Devil's Night, because like The Crow, I was always kind of like, all right. Even though the chick in it went to the middle school out here.
Whoa. The first fucking Crow movie is beyond fucking reproach. Don't even fuck around.
No, it's cool, man. I don't know. What do you want from me, dude?
Shut the fuck up.
I get it. Out here,
you clearly don't.
No, out here it was like literally. I swear to God, because the chick in the movie went to the middle school out here.
Okay.
So it was like when you go, I don't hear Bruce Springsteen, I don't need his fucking horns and all his bullshit. Kind of everyone on every school bus was, the fucking Crow. It's like
sounds like jealousy.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to be the girl in The Crow.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I was way too young. I was like fucking 6 when that shit came out. But
Anyway,
I didn't realize that I heard it called Devil's Night the first time when Eminem made that album D12, the Devil's Night.
Yeah, which was after The Crow.
Yeah, well, after. I didn't realize they called it Devil's Night back then.
Devil's Night, apparently it was a Detroit thing, apparently, so I guess that makes sense for Eminem too, because that's where The Crow takes place, Detroit.
Yeah.
But it's my whole point was just bring that up was that trick-or-treating and Halloween parties and things like that were used to kind of like subdue kids, because they'd go out and just fuck shit up. I mean, so people started like, hey, if I give you candy, maybe you won't, light my dog on fire, or whatever the fuck they used to do back then.
A little underage drinking.
Maybe a little underage drinking. But it's all evolved from there, and then there's a clear delineation. And I was reading about this in actually friend of, I don't know if she's a friend of the show, but Lisa Morton. She does the she's a Halloween author, kind of all around just Halloween expert. She does the welcome letter for the Order of the Thin Veil, me and Sam Heimer's thing every year.
Well, then she's a friend of the show.
She is a friend of the show for sure. I don't know if she listens, but I was reading something in one of her books, and she talks about the clear delineation of Halloween before John Carpenter's Halloween and after, and it affected everything. Because before that, decorations of a house were a jack-o'-lantern, maybe some die cuts in the window, not much else.
More autumny.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just that Halloween decorations were jack-o'-lanterns, and maybe there were definitely the great decorations that were produced by Beistel and companies like that. But they it wasn't like there were no yard displays. You know what I'm saying? So after the slasher movies started, it kind of started to walk hand in hand. That movie kind of it started it, which is crazy. And after that is when you start seeing these the slow evolution of these like yard scenes that almost became their own little haunts. you
Right.
know?
So like the whole thing like kind of forms late 70s.
Yes.
The seed is planted there and it
Yes.
buds in the 80s.
Yes.
And we have what we call the golden era, of that time of like
Yep.
decorations, costume. No, not costumes. Costumes were kind of weird back then. But go continue what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, it all sprung out of that. People were still, before that, everything was largely like handmade. People would, if you talk to any old timers, I used to, I asked my grandmother, I asked my, older people in my family years back. They said that, back then, Halloween costumes, you just, kind of came up with something.
Yeah.
It just, you take some old clothes, or you go out as a hobo, or you might, put some stuff on your face. Like it was just. It was
The hobo was a big one back then.
It was a big one because
you see all those pictures, yeah.
Yeah, lots of cowboys, lots of hobos, lots of pirates. Everyone had a bandana, whack out a tooth, put on one of mom's earrings.
My wife's favorite, the sheet ghost.
Yes, because you can definitely have people forget that you're at the party if you just fucking sit under a sheet. Shout out to Beaver. Yeah, so that all starts to evolve, and it definitely. I don't think we've seen the peak of that. I think we're, we'll get to that in a minute. But costumes, like anything else in America, everything starts to, become part of that, that big capitalist machine. And like, oh shit, people are really getting into this, and that's when you start seeing those box costumes, the Ben Cooper, the Collegeville costumes. It's like the one vacuum form mask and like a plastic poncho.
Yeah. The Woolworths costumes that you would get, or like we had a Farmore out here that would carry them.
Drugstore costumes.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And it would be like a plastic sack.
Yep.
And then the mask.
Yeah.
The plastic mask.
Yeah. No, so it's those are all happening. I mean, thankfully, and I've said this before, I never wore a store-bought costume because my mother's a professional seamstress, and she would, and she also loved, still to this day, loves Halloween. So, it was always a big deal for us. So, but talking about the time period, that was when I started trick-or-treating, early 80s. A couple of years later for you, but, your family was doing it already, right? Because, Chris was...
Right, well, my mom even just brought it up the other day because I'm expecting my first son.
Yep.
And I go to my mom's every Halloween. She goes to tell my wife, me and Britt stop by, we're hanging out, and she goes, boy, that Kenny made sure he got his trick-or-treating in the first night. Because my mom took, all my two brothers with the friends in the neighborhood, took them all out trick-or-treating, got home, boom, divvying up the candy, goes into labor. Here comes Ken.
Yep.
Halloween night, born right around midnight, so November 1st, technically. But yeah, I got my trick-or-treating in that first night.
There you go.
I started strangling myself with an umbilical cord to get, I want the candy. I want the spirit, I was dead. They brought me back. We were good. We're okay now.
Yeah. All good, buddy.
I'm fucked up. I fucked up.
Easy, Eddie.
Yeah.
So what we're, obviously what we're getting to here, right? It's this big rise that it's been going. It's kind of been going up, and apparently, I think it was last 2 years, it started to come down a little bit, which is kind of nuts.
But before that, there was a big fall. Let's address that.
Yeah.
2005.
Yep.
The 2015 era, where it was big in the haunts and the haunted houses, but the trick-or-treaters weren't there anymore. The vibe
they were by us.
Well, a little bit, but the vibe, the whole Halloween vibe at that point, I feel like kind of became boring. It became soft, hostile, all those kind of things that became like your horror movies were just like Kane, killing people, see no evil, wherever the hell that was.
I know what you're saying, but I think that I don't know if that's universal across the board, because you're talking about periods of time and years where were some of my most memorable Halloweens.
Sure. So I'm just like imparting my own
no, and that's fine.
Anger.
Hey, It could be.
Anger to what was going on at those times. Okay.
It's like I said in the beginning. Yeah, exactly.
Shit around, yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, this is a holiday that it's alive. It's very much a living holiday. Everyone gets to add things to it because it doesn't have these real rules set around them. It's just like it just continues to go in these new things. There's certainly destructive things that are around and have been around that kind of dampen the Halloween spirit or take it in a wrong direction that is misguided. I would put trunk or treats on that list because what the fuck? Halloween is supposed to be about community and being able to trust neighbors, or if you don't, maybe building a new trust with neighbors because it's a community thing. When you isolate a kid, also forget about the fact that it's just fucking like 12 to 20 cars in a parking lot. There's no imagination. There's no fun. There's not even a little bit of like adventure in there that you had when you were a kid, running around a neighborhood, going to houses, knocking on doors, running between that darkness in between each house in your costume, trying to, kind of feeling the character that you are while you're running around on the streets that night. There's no like, there's no magic in that, and that's what's missing. That's one of the things that really really bugs me as a trick or treat, because usually it's twofold in my opinion. Usually they're organized by churches. Now churches have been at war with Halloween since the beginning.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up
because of misunderstandings about things. Halloween is like as secular as you can get. And I went to Catholic school growing up, and they used to tell me literally Halloween was the devil's birthday. Like they used to send home things. Do not let your Yeah, I went to Catholic school. They said that it was Satan's birthday. Don't let your insane. I wish I still had on my kids. I swear to God, Satan's birthday.
That's so funny because me and Britt, we were just talking about this. We were checking out different places, and we weren't seeing a lot of decorations. There was a couple churches. She's like, she's like, maybe it's a Catholic thing. She's like, no. She's like, because she went to Catholic school. She was like, they would do all the Halloween stuff with us.
Oh no.
So I know that's weird. Like your experience and her experience in Philly, took completely different. Like they were all apparently all about it. I wanted to be like, you sure about that? But
so like those kind of school. I mean, they didn't have trunk or treats back then, but when I was growing up, it was like, don't let your kids go out on trick or treating. They're trying to recruit Satanists because this was still at the end, kind of like the tail end of the Satanic Panic,
right? And
they would say like, "Oh, we're gonna have a fall festival. Come dressed as your favorite saint." And my house was like, "Fuck."
Look, dude, my mom, Christian as they come, it. We were going ham at Halloween.
Yeah,
we were going nuts. It was never for us anything satanic. It was, I don't think
anyone with a brain really like falls for that. I got to be honest, because the people that I've encountered, and there's been quite a few. I mean, someone, speaking personally as someone who creates Halloween art year round, I get weird questions sometimes, like, because I have these characters called Jacklings. Are they demons? I'm like, what are you talking about? No. They're like, well, how do you know that's not demonic? I was like, first of all, I'm creating this and I don't believe in the devil. I was like, so they're not demons.
It was me and you talking the other night, and I was just like, look, we love the listeners, we love the spirit of it all.
Yeah.
But like there are some people involved in this community.
Yep.
That it's just like, hey man, we just enjoy it. We love it. Like we love the perpetual child in us loving it.
Yeah.
Every time it comes around, we try to latch onto it. You pass it on to your kids. I'm going to pass it on to my son, and maybe other ones. Me and my wife love it. My family. It's my birthday. Like you know what I mean? Like just I go to my mom's. I throw candy at kids I'm not supposed to. My mom yells at me. I give them 5 fucking bars. Some of the people in this community are just like they can't just like it's like. They can't understand how some people just are like, it's about the holiday. It's about the spirit of it. Yeah, we do like the tradition of it. You know,
Yeah.
I love the tradition of it. I love the history of it.
Yeah.
I even love a lot of the modern stuff of it.
Mhm.
It's just that there's so many people out there that just get real, like, not even just the demon thing, but other things. And it's like, all right, man, if that's your identity, it's your identity. But you don't have to make it about that. Like, you could take a step back and be like,
I think that's just an extension of people seeing other people enjoy shit and they gotta come fuck with it. You know what I mean? It
Sure,
doesn't matter
well,
what it is.
I wasn't putting a label on any of it. I'm just saying, like,
Oh, no,
sometimes it's like,
I'm just saying, like, that's been my experience. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
oh, this is a thing. Oh, well, people are enjoying something. Let me go over there with some, I don't know, facts that I found to fuck with their shit. Like, I
Yeah.
see that happen a lot, you know? So, I think that the whole,
trunk or treat thing.
the trunk or treat thing is damaging. And every time I see it, like, and I won't do that, fucking edgelord bullshit, like, blah, it's at the church, blah. No, it's not that it's about that. It's you're tearing down or attempting to tear down a holiday that one large aspect of it is for kids.
Yeah.
And it's about this magical thing where they can, whether they know it or not, they can experience this fall festival and this festival that's also very much about the circle of and cycle of life.
Right.
You know,
and the idea of, like, going out on your own.
yeah.
You know what I mean? When you get to that certain age, you can go out on your own for the first time, you know?
And that's a big aspect of it too. But it just, religious people will always be religious people who are afraid of that kind of stuff. And I see it all the time. You know, my in-laws, when I first started coming around, they were like, oh, Halloween, and they give me the same fucking spiel. I'm like, has nothing. I was like, this existed. This holiday, the roots of it existed before people even had the word, you know, specifically Satan. It's like, this is older than Christianity.
Yeah.
So anyway, that kind of stuff, you get that kind of stuff going on too. And it's funny because Nora also mentioned to me the other day, you know, talking about Nora earlier, my daughter, she's like, Dad, there's kids in my school that I'm talking about Halloween, I'm telling them my costume, I'm so excited for it, and they're like, the kid will say to me, well, I can't trick or treat because I'm a Christian and that's the devil's holiday. Still.
Yeah, you'll get that.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It's like it has nothing to do with the devil at all.
We can, before we explore this a little more, because we will, there is a precursor to the trunk or treat that actually pulled away and helped pass the ball, or pass the rock, as basketball players would say. Trick or treating in the malls. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. And trick or treating's in schools. They did that too.
But the malls was more commercialized. So it's like you come in, you get bring the kids in, the kids get candy, and you're like, oh, also, there's the fucking Furby over there. I'm gonna need that Furby. You know what I mean?
We didn't do that when I was a kid, but when my kids were little, there's a mall by where we used to live, and they did that there, and that was a different night than Halloween, and they were little, so I was like, so me and Christina were like, let's check it out. And
right, but what I'm saying is, so that, like, I liked it because I was, at that point, I was like, you know, 19, I was driving, I was going to the mall all the time.
Yeah.
And
you
like,
could see
I'd be
what
like,
they're trying to do.
yeah, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool because they're bringing Halloween here. Like, you know, where you wouldn't see Halloween, now you're like, oh, the Halloween's here. But then you start to realize, like, oh, wait, this is kind of...
Yeah, it's them trying to commercialize it. Kind of like, you know, what they do, well, different, but they're just trying to, like, if they did it on a night that wasn't Halloween, I don't have a problem with it. But if you're trying to have kids come out of, you know, the leaf-strewn streets and out away from the magic into a fucking mall, fuck that.
Yeah, I would. I think they eventually were like, they'll do it earlier. So Halloween, you come earlier in the day, do it like in the day. But the problem is, most of the kids are at school on most Halloweens.
Yeah,
so
it kind of disappeared.
Even if they would do it on a different day, I like the idea of the kid getting to wear his costume multiple times.
Yes.
So I like the idea if they would have done it like the weekend before Halloween. You come in, every store has, you know, they're open. You come and get candy. If you want to buy some, buy the Furby or whatever it is. But I would like, you know, the kid gets to wear their costume again, gets to tweak it, figure out things they, you know, positions and stuff they like, how they like wearing it. Go, oh, okay, this mask, got to move it here so I can breathe better, so I can see better.
Yeah.
You know, then they'll have their school party. that they
Right.
get to wear it again. The school,
Right.
the Halloween parade, and then Halloween night, all the tweaks are done. You
Yep.
know, maybe they had to add that, bandolier with also, nunchucks and whatever.
Yeah.
Like they've workshopped it to the point.
What if you
where,
come to a Halloween party with several pairs of nunchucks on you? So you can't have them all taken away from you, even though you think you've gotten them away from the person.
Well, then you're a master. You're a master chucker at that point.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
like, there's
a fellow
no,
chucker, eh?
Yeah, right. There's at that point, there's no. You're King Chuck. You are
Yeah.
Lord of Chuck at that point. So
Sure.
I can't throw shade on that. That's
Yeah,
masterful work.
Yeah, sure. We'll call it masterful work. That's what I'll call it.
Right.
It's
Right.
funny too, and I've mentioned this on previous episodes when we talked about Halloween too. We got spoiled as kids because where we grew up, there's second largest Halloween parade in the country in Toms River, New Jersey. So in Toms River, they do their parade Halloween, no matter when it is. It's the day of Halloween. So in that town, they have trick or treating the day before. So the 30th of every year, you could go to Toms River, and we did before we lived there because we were in Jackson, which is close by. We would trick or treat in Toms River, and then Halloween night we would trick or treat in our hometown of Jackson. So we got 2 nights
All right.
of trick or treating.
That's awesome. See that's awesome. Like, but doesn't
That's
it
what cemented Halloween into my
does it
fold.
kind of suck for Toms River, or do the kids there then go trick or treat in other
Oh,
neighborhoods
then they
next
go to
time?
other towns,
Okay.
man. But you had the option. You could be like,
Yeah.
am I going to trick or treat? Or am I going to watch the parade? And some people, and it would kind of like back and forth kind of thing. Or you could kind of do both if because the parade would kind of last sometimes. So it was a very, very cool thing.
There's still this movement going on where you like Thanksgiving.
Yep.
You move Halloween. We've talked about this before too. That you move Halloween to the Saturday, the last Saturday of October, and I fucking hate it.
No.
Fucking
It's
hate
the
it.
day.
It's the day.
It is the day. And also speaking to that, you'll have people that mention, oh, why isn't Halloween a federal holiday? It's like, well, it doesn't need to be. And I like that it's kind of like Halloween is like, it's not a mandated thing. It's, we're going to fucking do this thing no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the cool kind of thing about it. And it still maintains that reputation of it's the fucking cool holiday. You know what I mean? It's fucking Halloween. Like anything can happen on that day.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, what I want to talk about that period. That like, I hate to be this guy. I'm totally a Halloween gatekeeper. I am. I'm sorry.
Gatekeeper.
Like when it comes to like,
Don't be a gatekeeper.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
You don't have. But what gives you? I'm not trying to be a douche. What gives you the right to gatekeep Halloween?
My birthday. No. I mean like more like people I grew up with in my this is around the time I was hitting the bar scene.
Okay.
So like my whole, growing up, all these people around me, I was the weirdo for always like freaking out about Halloween, going a full bore Halloween.
Okay.
And then I get to the bar scene, those people were like, oh yeah, you want to talk about it? I'd be like, dude, yes, but no.
Okay.
And I hate
Sounds like
you.
edgelord 20s Kenny.
Well, edgelord 20s Kenny was the thing. The creepy basement goblin evolved, and he became, a little bit of pariah. Kid with the dead
Okay.
dad, No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But no, it was just, now it's like, oh, Halloween's awesome now. Everyone's into Halloween now.
Why not? Let it be. It's
Yeah.
going to be what it is anyway.
I gotta stop focusing on my past so much.
I would agree.
What, buddy?
I don't think anyone can or should try to gatekeep Halloween unless it's something that's going to damage it. The more the merrier, and absolutely, is the way that should be. I mean, Halloween should be enjoyed by anyone who wants to enjoy it in any way that they choose to. I mean,
Well,
I hate aspects of
myself-
Halloween.
That's why I put myself back in those days,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I'm, bring all are welcome. All
Oh, okay.
are welcome. All are welcome.
No, I there are aspects that I consider to be lesser aspects. I'm not going to go over all this because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or anything. There's things that I think are like, and there's things that I think, oh, that's great. And there's other things that I'm just like, what is this person doing? But it's still them enjoying Halloween, so I cannot fault them for it because lots of people, really look forward to this holiday. Clearly they do. And this will roll into our next little topic here. Are really, really excited about this holiday and what it means to this person and what it means to that person, and what it means to that is going to be a different answer every time, I think. Mm-hmm. Halloween is such a, and I'm going to say it again, such a living holiday. It's such an alive, it's almost like a fire. It's almost like a big bonfire. Some years it's raging and sometimes it's just a little bit smoldering. You never know what you're going to get. But I think that it's so important to so many people that it's like, you know what, you let your freak flag fly on that day, and I think that everyone is entitled to celebrate Halloween the way that they want to, as long as it's not trying to undermine the holiday itself.
I'm admiring your whimsy right now. Thanks, buddy. You're oozing whimsy, and I appreciate that.
But kind of like moving into that, I think we really should discuss this new, within the past 5 years or so, this new like rolling out of Halloween in like July.
Okay, because
not as a negative. I just want to put it out there. This is the latest phenomenon in my mind. The rolling out of Halloween stuff in July, and a lot of people have kind of like been discussing it. And they're like, "Is this good? Is this bad? What does this mean for the holiday?" I mean, it's completely motivated by
business
for sure. It's and if you look at what they've been doing, because I've been kind of like marking dates, kind of seeing how they've been rolling stuff out. It seems to me they're rolling out the Halloween shit earlier because A, they know people are going to buy it because they know that there's this subsection of the Halloween, let's call it community, that gets out there. They see stuff. Oh, Code Orange, right?
Oh,
Code Orange. I mean,
how can I not gatekeep?
Because nobody owns Halloween. They do the Code Orange thing, and they're like, "Oh, there's stuff in the store, Code Orange," and it's been around for a while now. And when someone comes into into some Halloween stuff in July, and like the stores are just throwing it out there because they know these people will buy it up. What that does, I think, in my opinion, is it gets all the Halloween shit out of the way, so Christmas can be even bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know they ain't fucking pulling Christmas out of the store before Christmas is over. So now, what they did by putting all that Halloween stuff out in the stores in July means you buying up all that stuff in July because you can't contain yourself, and you have to buy the stuff in July because you're so excited for it. And I get it. But what that does is shortens the amount of time that Halloween is in the stores even more, because businesses, companies, whatever you want to say, they want those Christmas dollars, because holy shit, that people spend their asses off during Christmas, and that's all they're doing. They're clearing Halloween off the board even more.
Well,
because
also, yes, and then the clearance sale that you get at the end, going into Thanksgiving, all the rest of the stuff they have would used to be a big pile of clearance stuff that they had to get rid of, and now it's a little section, and they don't have to charge as much, or they can charge more for it, because it's smaller amounts. And then the Halloween people will still be like, "Oh, I can get this one next year because it's cheaper," as much as, before it'd be a big section of Halloween clearance stuff that would be a lot cheaper. So yeah, at that point it becomes almost like early Black Friday for the Halloween crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah. However, I think that the folks that are really going out there and jumping on these, the Code Orange people, and this is not as a negative. I mean, you enjoy that, go for it. I totally get it. This world is horror. If you find a glimmer of light in that, you fucking go for it. But the people that are going out there for it, they're kind of getting a little bit hoodwinked, I think, and I get it. They're playing on people's passions, and people want to have some, oh God, look, it's already out already. Perfect. I can't, I'm already, I'm sweating like a fucking animal. I can't wait for the summer to be over.
It's politics at this point.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So people are being a little bit manipulated, and they've been doing it a little more every year, a little bit back. And this year I was like, this is insane. Mm-hmm. Do you remember, like, at least November, it would be like, okay, wow, here's the Halloween, the Christmas shit. It'd be like November 1st. It would be in the goddamn stores, dude. Lowe's and Home Depot, full. Not even just like, oh, there's a few Christmas things out. There is a 12-foot, like the Yeti, the Bumble, what's it called from the Rudolph movie? There's a 12-foot one in the goddamn Lowe's.
I got the guy that chases the Bumble. Where the fuck
Yukon
is my
Cornelius.
figure? Yeah, where's Yukon? I have his figure. Fuck.
Yeah. So they have a 12-foot version of that thing.
Yeah.
It's been there since like a couple weeks, like the second week of September.
Well, you know, it's funny too. In that same vein, so in the background at work on the TV, AMC's Fear Fest, which awesomely starts now October 1st, which is awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
They need to do that. Every station, every channel, Sci-Fi, all of them should fucking do this.
Yeah.
Yesterday, they start this. Because the TV's behind me, I'm working, I just listen to the TV. I'm there, I hear, from the people that brought you Fear Fest comes Christmas Fest. All December, we're playing all your favorite Christmas hits. And I was just like, what's going on behind me? And because I have like my own speaker, and I'm like, I was like, oh no. Then I made the joke that it's going to be 30 days of A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
It's like 30 days of A Christmas Story. See if you can survive this year.
Yeah. And the thing that kind of fucks all that stuff up is it's like I've heard the counter argument where it's like, well, people get jolly about seeing the Christmas stuff. It's like, okay, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to the things that make them happy. But Christmas is going nowhere. They're never going to truncate the Christmas season. They will extend that as much as they can because they know how much money is spent. This buying up the Halloween stuff and endorsing it by purchasing this shit in July, it's just taking Halloween out of its season and it's just relegating it to stuff that comes out in July now. Yeah. And now you go into the stores. I just had to go to Michael's today to get stuff because for work, the Halloween shit's like gone already. Yeah. And it's Christmas trees and it's getting earlier and earlier and earlier. And it's just Halloween's getting classed out at the stores because they just want those big Christmas dollars. And the fact that people are buying it in July is just encouraging them more and more. And it's just like, I get it, folks, but at the same time, keep this up. It's not even going to be like the thing that it used to be. And it just it's really, that's a really disheartening thing to me because it's like visually you go to the stores, Halloween's over already. You know what I mean? But it's not, and it's mid-October, and it's like what? It's like shell shock. It's not just the craft stores; it's fucking everywhere. So we're being as we're wont to do because it's the United States. We're being manipulated by consumerism and the whims of companies.
Go watch They Live by John Carpenter.
Right.
Well, I had a funny thought today. Well, maybe it was yesterday, but I the days are running into each other so fast at this point. But I tend to like write skits in my head, like and things like that. And I was thinking about if it was the reverse side of our Spirit Halloween episode, if we were talking about the guy that showed up to your Halloween party that was like way out of line. Remember that? Do you remember that at all? The guy that wore the doctor costume, the one that like maybe was like way too inappropriate. COVID brain.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Spirit Halloween, the one costume that we were saying, this guy comes.
Oh! I thought you actually showed up to my fucking party.
No, I said our Spirit Halloween episode.
I thought we mentioned it during. Yeah, go ahead. I got you.
The one doctor guy. Yep. I was thinking, what if things were on the other end? And that guy that you're like, oh, this guy's really cool. He gets that movie line that we said we high five. Like, oh shit, okay. And he invites me to his party. I'm like, oh fuck, all right, cool. He's like, oh dude, it's gonna be sick. It's like, yeah, we take this. It's a Halloween party, and you're like, oh shit. So you're expecting like everyone in costume, playing all the jams, the bangers, the projector. That's what you're thinking. You get there and it's like a bunch of dudes in robes, and the music is like. Like, and the guy gets there and he's like you know, Hawaiian Frankenstein. You know, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he gets there, and the guy's like, oh, dude, Rodney, you came. You know, and he's like in a robe, and there's like, everyone has goblets and shit.
Yeah.
And he gets there, and he's like, I don't know if I should I? Is this cool? Like, no, dude, we're about to go nuts. We got the beer pong table set up, and it's the whole time it's the same type of party, but the vibe, instead of being like, you know, classic Halloween hits, is like, you know, it goes from like those like guttural moans to like enchanted Irish like folklore songs. But the guy has the time of his life. And he's like, and it's the same type of party, you know, people are still like kind of like dancing to the whatever they can do. And I was like, I think I need to throw that party. Like, no, you don't wear a costume. You find your finest death shroud or your fucking Holocaust robe or whatever you call it. And you vibe out same way you would. Party games, Bob for Apples, beer pong, open bar, but everything else is just very.
So it's more closely related. You're saying this would be more closely related to the, you know, those. I think it was like in the Middle Ages. Some author, it may have been in the David Scull book, the Death Makes a Holiday. It's all about Halloween, and he talks about that, like the early, like, maybe not even early Christian, but there was this time that they thought that some of these Halloween revels actually sprung out of this this custom that came out of you know, the Black Plague and all this. It's called the Dance Macabre. It's this it's kind of like an art motif where it's, you know, it's you have like skeletons or the Grim Reaper, and they're dancing with different people from different walks of life, and it's basically just you know, to show you that, you know, everybody, whether it be you know, a pope, an emperor, a child, a laborer, a you know, a car mechanic, whatever it may be, everyone's going to die and everyone's equal in the dance of death. And
right, but in a funnier way of that, like the guy that's used to like the, you know, oh, the girls are sluts, and it's like they're playing like fucking, you know, dance music. You still have a great time over at the weird place with all the guys in the hoods and cloaks. Yeah. And they're like, would you like a piece of human liver? And you're like, fuck it, I'll try it. You know, like that kind of deal, you know.
And you're partying with the Grovers over there.
Well, that's the idea. That's what it just was sprung in my head. It's like, this guy's just like, oh no, dude, my group of friends, you're going to love them. They're the best guys. Right. And you get there, and as opposed to being like, you know, the guys that are like, oh, I'm fucking Gomez Ed, you know, and like all that shit. It's like they're all just all wearing the same costume, and you're like, what the fuck? What did I just walk into? But then the guy ends up leaving at like 5 a.m, at the best time of his life.
Yeah,
he's like,
because of course.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, we did this ritual, and I'll tell you what, I feel great. He wakes up the next day, not even hungover, sees the guy at work. And he's like, dude, up top, awesome party, man. He's like, dude,
I know you partied like that.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, if you want to come, we do it every, you know, solstice or, you know, whatever. Like,
yeah,
he's like 2 times a year. You know, there's a membership card.
Yeah, Halloween and Walpurgisnacht.
How do you feel about giving your soul to Moloch? Is the question.
Because like, you did last night.
Yeah, right. You're like, dude, that was a great time. I'll Moloch all day. You got it, Moloch. And he's like, you're in. You're fucking in. I'll see you on the other side, buddy. And the other side is lunch. They get to lunch, and he's like, what's this about Moloch? Yeah. Because he's sober now.
Oh, right. He's kind of putting it together.
Yeah. He's like, oh. He's like, next one, chicks are going to be there, dude. So many chicks.
Right.
They do wear the robes, though. So, good luck.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, it's equal opportunity, man. It's Halloween's for everybody. So there was something else I wanted to bring up, and then I'll turn it over to you for this, so you can. I know you want to talk about some music. Mm-hmm. So lately, and I was texting Ken the other day because we don't stop texting each other.
Yeah, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm the girlfriend. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, so we're texting or whatever, and I was like, hey, I want to talk about this thing on the Halloween episode because, you're on YouTube, you'll be, if you watch enough stuff, obviously it figures out your little personal algorithm basically, and it suggests videos to you. And I watch lots of Halloween stuff.
Yeah,
obviously. So I get suggested this video, and normally I wouldn't click on it because it's clearly, don't judge me, folks. It's clearly, a Gen Zer, very snarky looking, and it's like big orange letters. Why Halloween is dying. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, let's see what this tryhard has to say. All right, because I could see it already. Like I could, like before he even spoke, he had the broccoli haircut, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's see what he's got to say. I throw the video on, and he starts this whole like drawn out process. This dude is absolutely in his young 20s, and you can see why when I tell you why.
Oh, he knows it all. Yep. He has it
He's
figured
like,
out.
Guys, Halloween is different. I'm like, here we go. And to spare you the whole like monologue that he goes on for like 20 minutes, he's like, Halloween's dying. This. He's like, it's not. Do you remember when we used to trick or treat and we used to this and things felt special and Halloween just didn't feel special anymore? And it's like, I just wanted to reach through the screen or just call the dude up and be like, dude, you're in your early 20s. You're transitioning into real adulthood.
Yeah.
Halloween changes what it means as you get older.
Yeah.
Of course, you're not going to feel the same way about Halloween that you did when you were in grade school and you're in your early 20s. But that wasn't the remarkable thing. I watched that one, and then it suggests to me another one, and it's another kid saying the same fucking thing. Halloween's dying. I don't know what it is. Is it because of COVID? Is it because of the... And he starts putting out all the stuff, and like I commented on all of them. I was like, hey man, I'm a lifelong Halloween devotee, and I'm in my early 40s. I was like, you just haven't moved on to the next thing to like push you on to. I'm like, you can't be looking back at trick-or-treating and you're in your early 20s. I mean, of course it's not going to feel the same. It's on you and your generation to start doing new fun shit to reinvigorate it. Every generation has to reinvigorate Halloween.
Yeah, and there were points where I had to just like, what does this mean to me? And it meant almost as much as Christmas to me. I felt like, everyone kind of feels how I do. Like everyone kind of feels how I do about this shit all the time. Because I love the horror, I love the spooky, I love all this stuff, and I'm always thinking about it. Yeah. And I'm like, as I got older, and I was like, I'm not doing the trick or treat. I would go hand out candy.
Right.
There was a couple years that I stopped, and then I was like, after that, I was like, I got to get back to my mom's and hand out candy.
Yeah.
The parties on Halloween night, I was like, not so much my thing. I want to be back where it started. I want to give out the candy. I want to see the costumes. I want to have the fucking tunes playing. Yeah. I want to have, the whole thing, the feeling, the smell of just like, the low fog on the water by mom's house, like the woods that are right there, just the smell of the wet trees. Like, I don't know.
I totally get what you're saying. And the thing that was taking me aback by this was that, and I'm not trying to be like, typical older guy kind of thing says, but they're not these kids today. But it literally was like, dude, you're not doing anything. You have to contribute for it to come back, for it to, pay back any kind of dividends. You have to be, if you feel that Halloween is flagging in your life and it's important to you, because let's be honest, folks, Halloween's important to a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
And if you feel that it's not important in your sphere of friends, take the goddamn initiative. Throw a Halloween party, throw a pumpkin carving party, have scary movie night, do stuff. Hand out, make sure you turn your goddamn porch light on and hand out candy when kids come around.
Dude, get like 3 of your good friends together and pick a victim and fucking murder them.
That too. Become the urban legend that needed to be done in your town.
We need a new Cropsy, gang.
Something. Yeah. But very seriously, and so after that second one, it's the same video, and then because I watched those two, you know how YouTube goes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of these, and it's all the same. The type. It's the same type
Mr.
of kid.
Mr. Beast visual on the thumbnail.
Yep. Very like guys, and there's like the lights behind them. Halloween is over. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I saw how many videos there were, and there was a couple of them. This one dude has a few million followers. I was like, and I'm not going to say his name because this guy does not need any more help. But I was just taken aback, and I was like, and here's gonna, here comes a not a hot take, but just, I don't know, older guy kind of perspective. They're not doing anything. Like, you're not doing anything. You have to contribute to this holiday. And if anyone's listening to this and is in their 20s and they're feeling like Halloween just doesn't feel the same anymore, you have to do something. You have to get friends together, or some people together, or for yourself, go out and do stuff. Show people that you're active in the holiday. You can't just depend on other people to inform your vibe. It's just not, this doesn't work like that. You have to contribute.
Yeah, and I remember feeling that, and then when I was fucking 20, I started our annual Halloween bash with my oldest brother Chris.
Yeah, because it was your time to do it.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, we'll do it. And we would come up with a new thing every year. There was the year that I was 20 when we had a full band at the place, and we would find a hall. Then there was a couple of years it kind of fell off, but we'd have parties at other places, at apartments we were at. We would do this. But yeah, you got it. Yeah, if you feel like it's gone, you got to be the one to take the reins and fucking kick that horse into fucking galloping.
No, and I'm glad you said it, because that's exactly what I think. It's if you're listening right now, or anyone, or if you feel this way at all, it doesn't matter how old you are at all. If you're feeling like Halloween feels like it's not the same anymore, that's Halloween calling out to you, saying, it's your time to do something. Yeah. And things have happened in my life where Halloween has kind of like reached out to me as well, and I think it's a real thing. So, like the dead woman that you saw. Jesus Christ, you ain't fucking kidding, man. No, there was one Halloween where there was like a storm the night, a few nights before, not a hurricane or anything, and this very rare blow mold pail just showed up on my front lawn.
Right.
I was like, okay. I just said thanks.
Yeah, things in my life don't usually happen just like that. So like, when I wasn't able to throw the parties for a while there, I was just like, yo, who's coming over? It's Halloween. We're gonna put on fucking some shit. We're gonna get into this, the mood. Yeah. We're gonna have the decorations going. Yep. Tell each other our fucking recent ghost stories. Recant the old ones. And
carve a fucking jack-o'-lantern, people. Right. You have to do it. And you're not a real devotee of Halloween if you don't carve a jack-o'-lantern. I don't care how old you are, who you say you are, how involved in the holiday you are. If you don't get your hands dirty and actually carve a jack-o'-lantern, you're not doing it right. Yeah, you're a piece of shit. No, but one of the things is too. It's like, so like, I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of people. So my Halloween parties were always like, bumping. They were always huge. There was a lot of people always there. But, I always had that, like, in the back of my mind, like, they're only enjoying the party. They're not really enjoying Halloween. Like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, fuck. Like, will one of these guys come out here and, like, help me find a ghost? Like, any of these people here, would they go into a, haunted house with me? And I had that for years, because, like, they would sometimes get into the ghost stories or the spookiness or, the gnomes in the village that we get involved with. But, like, most of the time it was me being the fucking weird pariah that was always like, hey, so you gonna go to Crybaby Bridge or the Devil's Handfake? It was always like that. Mm-hmm. And Murdoch was one of those guys that was always in for all that. Sween had some shit go on sometimes. Rob hated all of it. Rob wouldn't be there. But, like, most of the time it was like, the party was the thing. So I guess what I'm saying is, I gave a place for all the people that weren't my style of Halloween or my style of celebrating a point or a place to celebrate the holiday, less gatekeepy as I should have been. Good. Less gatekeepy. No, it's absolutely. I think what we're both trying to say is absolutely important that because it's this living holiday and it doesn't have these set, like, like set ritual-y type things that, you know, the religious holidays have, you have to contribute for it to continue on. It will stay alive as long as people continue the traditions. If you just let it go by the wayside, it's, you know, I'm not saying it's going to disappear, but, you know, aspects of it can disappear. You'll be in a town and all they have is a trunk or treat at the firehouse, and that's it. We've got humbugs like this goddamn neighborhood that I live in. People don't decorate for Halloween.
What the fuck's that neighborhood you were just talking about? Fucking Loserville? It's so stupid. No, like, dude, decorate your fucking house.
Yeah,
like,
and hand out candy, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. I had a point and I lost it. But
music.
Yeah, decorate your house. I have another guy at work that's just like, I'm not home. I don't do it. I go out to the party, and it's like
almost like you can't. It's like, you know, man, you can't go to the party because you didn't.
You shouldn't go.
You're not participating in, you know, the other part of it. How about, it's like, you almost want to ask that guy, hey, you like Halloween, right? Yeah. Did you trick or treat as a kid? Yeah. Well, why aren't you carrying on the tradition for the kids who are going to turn into adults who go to parties?
Oh, because I don't care about that.
Yeah, because
that's what they say.
Right, so shithead. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You know, I care about it so much, and I know the magic that it conveys, and well, you know, like I was saying, like, you know, a lot of this time it's like I can go out on my own, my friends. I'm finally old enough. We can go explore this part of the neighborhood even without my older brother's friends. You know, like,
right.
We're the crew now that gets to go do the thing that, like, you know, we were told we were too young to do, and they're like, go out, man. Like, you don't need to carry the specific bag. It's like, yeah, bring your fucking pillowcase. Get the crew together. Get your costumes going. You better look fucking good. You better not bring no bullshit. And then bring the fucking noise to your neighborhood.
Yeah.
With stacks of pillows and go off. And then that one scary house that the person, you know, everyone tells you, like go knock on that fucking door. You know, like, all that shit. Like, it's a coming of age thing. It's not just, you know, a kid thing that, like, oh, Halloween's for kids. Motherfucker, no, it isn't. You get introduced as a kid in Americanized Halloween, go get some free fucking candy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get older, your parents teach you. Your parents are taking you around, teaching you the neighborhood. Oh, this is so-and-so's house. Oh, this is so-and-so's house. Oh, this is right here. Oh, we can take this cut. We can take this turn. Oh, we can move over here. So you're learning your neighborhood, your terrain, and then you kind of, you know, then you get, like I said, you get to the phase where you can explore even more, that your, you know, parents or your dad, whoever took you around, isn't going to get dirty. They're like, I got out of work. I'm not going to crawl through this little, you know, nook of a bush to get to the next little section of a neighborhood. So you get to explore that shit. You get to move out, you know, go and figure your dynamic, and then you get to your 20s and you got to figure out, like you said, what Halloween means to you, and then us now, like, you know, I'm pushing 40, you're there. It's like Halloween is, it's the funnest holiday. It's like, God, I can't wait. Like, me and Brett are talking, like, the best Halloween is going to be the first one with Kenny, and then the next one after that with Kenny, and then the
first time you actually take him around trick-or-treating, will be wonderful. Yeah, you'll love it.
We're just saying, like, the whole thing, like, it's all going to be better now as an adult, because, like, I get to be that dad.
Yeah.
She gets to be that mom. Like, we get to be that, like, you know, and also when he's a little old, like,
yeah, children reinvigorate the magic.
It's and you get to tell them the little spooky story that, and then chase them around the house with the scary stories and tell the dark pictures.
Yeah. Absolutely. But also, you know, for folks who are, you know, on the other side of that, where it's, you know, they're you know, maybe moving past certain things about the holiday, where it's like, okay, they maybe some folks want to, you know, jettison the kiddie stuff, and they're like, you know, what is the deeper meaning here? What is it that makes this holiday, you know, live on for so long? You know, and you have to get back to the you know, the roots of it, where this is, you know, the night when the veil is at its thinnest between the world of the living and the dead, and that's the carryover that still is the heart of it. That on this night, we've agreed that we believe, or have been told by people who believe, that tonight all the ghosts are out. everyone that has died can just move freely, and that's a hell of a concept.
Yeah, without getting emotional, it's like that's kind of another big reason why I always go to my mother's house. Because I grew up there, between there and the house. I lived at Walnut Hill Street, and that's where all the people I loved were every Halloween, every Christmas, everything. And I go there. As corny as it sounds, that's where I feel them the most, and
that's great.
I feel the attachment to my family, the ones that came before me, my grandparents, my uncles, my dad, everyone. I go there and I feel close to them all again, and I get to just have that utter joy that I had, back then, and I get to pass it on. And I know the veil's thin, and you can feel it. Like, it's in a different way than the Christmas spirit, because we have to talk about these kind of two, opposite sides of the coin. But for me, that's when I feel it on the stoop. Kids coming by the same neighborhood I walk down, the same neighborhood my older brothers walk down, all my friends, the same neighborhood my kid's gonna walk down one day, and I just. It's such a bridge. It is a bridge. It's a bridge from the past, future, and those on the other side, and those who are going to be on the other side. And oh God, you're so right with it, just the thinning of the veil, and whatever that means. Whatever that means.
Yeah, no, and that's great that you have that perspective of it, because I do as well. But then there's also what gives the holiday its juice, for lack of a better term, is that doesn't mean that they're all good that are coming through the veil.
Absolutely.
There's things creeping in the night on Halloween night that are not normally allowed to be out, for whatever that means.
Well, it's funny on Halloween night, if they do come through, I feel like I'd be able to like square up. I'm like, oh, the veil's thin, motherfucker. Let's go.
Well, it terrified people for thousands of years, but here's Ken, and he's fine.
Things on this side terrify me, brother. Things on that side, I'm like the guy from the Bell Witch, trying to scrap with her. I'm having fun.
I know. No, I'm just, the other aspect of it, I think, is what holds a lot of fascination for people. It's what is it about the position of the sun and our position of the earth, in juxtaposition with the sun, and what does that do to spirits and whatever we want to call them, and ghosts, and why is it that night? What is it about that allows ghosts to frolic? And maybe it has nothing to do with that. Maybe it just has to do with distance to the sun, or that it's almost winter, and we have this. It's like we've harvested the crops, but then we're also going to harvest the souls too. It's there's a lot to it. It's very loaded, and I mentioned it earlier. There's a book by the recently deceased, unfortunately, David J. Schall. It's a book called Death Makes a Holiday, and he lays it out, just all these things. And it's not a very long book. I think it's maybe like 250 pages, maybe 300. It's not very thick, but it's a great book. And if you have not read it and you want a serious but not overly scholarly, talk about Halloween, and to be, have everything like put into perspective for you, with someone who's a little more scholarly than your average podcast host, that's a book to definitely check out. I have it. I've read it probably 3 or 4 times. I always pop it out this time of year just to keep things in perspective. It's a great book.
Yeah, well, it sounds like, when you talk about like the inherited, over the years, fears that it just build up in people, and it's like this is the last time we're going to be able to like enjoy a harvest before the harsh winter comes, depending on those areas. And at that point, is it that what makes the fear, or is it just the regular fear of death? I don't know.
No, I mean, the coming of winter, I mean, you could look at it so many different ways, because the
Right.
coming of winter, when we were still everyone was farmers and we were hunter gatherers. Winter was feared by people because we
Yeah.
can't really do anything else. We got to kind of like,
Right.
if we didn't harvest enough, we're
Yeah.
fucked.
And that's the thing.
So,
It's like it's objective and it's subjective at this point. For like however
Yeah.
you see it, like you could be like, oh no, this is just our inherent from like we see big cats, or we see cats, we see like our fear of those kind of things. Like it's like, oh, that's something in the dark. It's a big cat, and like
Right.
it just invokes something in us, like, and then that becomes folklore. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's it can be all of that and it could be nothing of that. It all depends on how you see it and how you view it and how you
Yeah.
embrace it. And
Yeah.
I've lived in a place my whole life that has strong seasons, so I get the whole concept of seasonal depression, and also the concept of where it comes from, where it's like it's going to be a long winter, and then you also are like, Wawa's down the street now, so like it's not, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's also good that you touch on that too, because I think seasons are important too. I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and make a statement like, oh, if you don't live in an area with seasons, you're not going to experience Halloween as well as people who do have
Right.
seasons. But I'm totally going to make that statement. If
Look,
you don't
I-
experience fall, it's not that you can enjoy it, and I would never say that you couldn't. But people who have seasons are definitely going to feel it more.
Yeah, you do make a good point. You don't experience Halloween the right way if you don't have the strong season of fall. Fall, in so many words, the leaves falling, the things building up, the chill, the smells, the
Yes.
fire, the woods with the moisture in there, the cold. I'm sorry, East Coast fall is the fall.
Yeah. And experiencing things in their right time, I think, like specifically Halloween is very important, because for it not to be in the season, it's just not the same thing. And I'm not saying, not the right, hey, if you live somewhere where it's warm all the time, hey, it's what it is, and you can still celebrate Halloween, and many people do, and it's awesome. But when you actually have the correct season associated with it, there's certainly a deeper appreciation for it. That's for sure. And I just I think it goes hand in hand with that whole, like, why I get so, like, not bent out of shape, but like kind of like perturbed when I
Jazzed.
see. Yeah, not jazzed. No, jazzed is good. When I see the decorations and shit coming out in July, I'm like, no, everything in its time. Like, I want this stuff in the stores when it's time for it to be in the stores. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and then when it's time for the shit to be there, like now, or, the next couple of weeks, and like everything's on fucking clearance, it's like,
Yeah.
that's why it bugs me so much.
Dude, I get it. No, I completely understand it.
Yeah.
And I just I think there's a renaissance coming, like I said, of Halloween, not just with the stores and the merchandising and everything. I think there is a big push coming for we're the elder statesmen now, kind of, like people like us.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely, I think there's going to be a I wouldn't say like renaissance wouldn't be the word I would use. I would say that we're the new thing. The new thing's coming.
All right, I'll take it.
The new thing is coming. I mean, because Halloween is still here and it's still very much in our midst. I think that it's just that's what we're missing, is what's going to be that next thing. Like, I think we are kind of on the verge of like, oh, either there's a reinvigoration of something on this aspect of the holiday that informs the rest of it, or something like that. But I definitely think we're on a new, there's something new coming up. Like, it definitely feels that way.
Well, hopefully we can be the ones that do it.
Sure.
Closing statements.
Yeah, I think that it's important for folks to stay active in Halloween activities. I mean, it's not just ordering shit off the internet or getting a pumpkin spice latte, which is fine, do it, but you gotta be an active participant if you want it to survive and for its fires to continue to roar. So if you love Halloween, be as active as you can, and we'll be talking about this holiday for centuries to come.
Yeah, good point. I guess my closing statements would be if you're a big fan of modern Halloween. Just do a little research, go back and watch some documentaries, maybe get into some classic Halloween storytelling or any kind of the things that it kind of came out of, like, you know, get your friends together, tell some ghost stories or tell some personal, you know, paranormal stories. And if you're going to have a party, throw some cool stuff in there, like bobbing for apples or, you know, I don't know, fortune telling or predicting the death of one of your friends. I don't know. Some one of those classic Halloween events that they used to have back then.
Or if you live in an apartment, butter the stairs so your annoying neighbor from upstairs can fucking fall to his death.
Right. In
my
apartment, they would just come right through my fucking door.
Perfect.
At this point. That's where it's at. But that being said, guys, this has been our Rise and Fall and Rise Again of Halloween episode of Other Dangerous Podcast. I've been Ken James.
And I've been Jason McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky evening. Thank you for listening to Other Dangerous Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerouspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangerous Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.